very, very nice of you to give me your time on this.
Pleasure.
Yep, so thank you.
Sure.
And so we're going to talk now about more about destructive cults, and specifically, how does one go about relating to, if a friend or a relation or a loved one is involved in a group like this? What do you do? How do you relate to them? How do you communicate to them? What do you do? What do you not do? And also, how do you go about, if you really want to take the plunge and really go for it, how do you go about getting somebody out of a group like that? Because it's not something they'll necessarily do on their own, but if you, botch it, then you could make it so that the person believes even more and has to stay even more fervently involved. First off, we did a whole video on what a destructive cult is, but just in a sentence or two, what do you understand that term to mean? How do you describe that to patients, clients you have?
Right. So it's a good question, because when you're talking about a destructive cult, you're talking about something other than the dictionary definition of a cult, which cults will often say. Just look up the word cult in the dictionary and you won't see anything bad, as somehow that's going to solve the problem and answer the question. It doesn't, because really what you're talking about is a group that is destructive, a group that's dangerous. And so the definition of that is where there is unquestioning loyalty and unquestioning devotion to the leader and to all of the teaching, so that the leader has to be seen as omniscient, omnipotent, above other people. Then you have a group that at its very core is deceptive, where they will say one thing and do another, and say they really stand for something and that they're going to be furthering certain goals, but you find out that they really don't have that ability or that true intention. And they really just want you to be involved and want you to be devoted to them, or they want you to help them line their pockets with cash. It's also often led by someone who is not well, either by virtue of being psychotic and believing in some things that are not necessarily within kind of the framework of mental health. And that can be destructive because if, for example, like the group in San Diego, Heaven's Gate, if the leader believes that the mothership is coming behind a comet and that everyone needs to leave their bodies and go to the mothership, everyone commits suicide. And then you have the kind of leader who really knows what he or she is up to and has been schooled in and has studied mind control and techniques of influence, and how to take people over. And they love the power of it and will use you to feed their ego. And you did not have the opportunity to make an educated decision. That's the other part. Within a healthy organization or a healthy fringe movement, or even cult as the way the dictionary defines cult, you can do your research and you can go on the internet and you can talk to former members and you can find out what the group is really about before getting involved and also while you're involved. But within a destructive cult, you're never allowed to do that. And in fact, they'll make you feel that something terrible will happen to you if you do seek out that information, because it truly threatens them.
Fair enough.